would I want to go on a study abroad? I would say for the experience, the amazing experience, to be around people that I will never be around, because you don't really see Serbians and Albanians in America, at least from where I'm from. So basically, you see another side of the world that you would probably never see in America. So, and the professor. I love Professor Boudin, and this really brought me closer to her. I can tell she really cares about her students, and she cares about us learning from others' cultures. The places we went, the field trips, it really tied in everything. What I learned in the classroom, we actually got to see it in real life outside in the field study. I will never forget this experience, and I would actually go back to Kosovo.
I knew the students would learn a lot being in Kosovo. First and foremost, it is the newest, it is the youngest country in Europe. It is a candidate for the EU, but also culturally, it is quite different from Western Europe. It is even really different from the rest of the Balkans, or most of the Balkan countries. It has a modern culture. It embraces the West, embraces the United States a lot because of its recent history from the 90s. It also has a very traditional culture. It is very Albanian. There are a lot of deep roots to Islam. And I thought, what a wonderful opportunity to bring students and introduce students to such a unique culture, not just in Europe, but in the world.
So for me, learning in a different cultural setting was the best part of going abroad, right? Because when I learn, yes, I take notes, I read, I go to lecture, I watch the videos, and that's great. That is a great way to digest information, and you can learn a lot by doing that. However, when you're abroad in Kosovo or whatever it is, you can do all of that, and then you step outside the classroom and you can physically see and feel everything that the lecturer just talked about. So you get the emotional element of actually participating in the thing that you just learned. So over the 2 weeks that we were in Kosovo, yeah, we'd learn about the conflict, we'd learn about the churches, the mosques, the transitional justice, the courts, all that stuff. But then we would get to go see those sites. And that creates an emotional pinprick, if you will, in your brain, so that you're more excited to learn about the things that you're being talked about in the classroom. So it gave me extra energy, it gave me extra appreciation and more ambition to really digest everything that was said in the classroom.
It gives you a lot of insights and experiences that you wouldn't get in the majority of study abroad programs or just regular law school programs. Like for example, when we met with the Supreme Court of Kosovo, or the special chamber of the Supreme Court for privatization, and they were willing to answer our questions and very inviting and hospitable to us. I don't think you get that in many other programs, and it really opens you up to knowledge and systems within the country that you wouldn't get, even in many U.S. programs.
The whole reason I'm like, yes, let's do this is because I want more people to experience this. I want more people to get out of the four walls of the classroom and see how much you can learn with being exposed to just a whole different world. There's so many pros to take out of this, aside from just seeing the world and traveling, being with a cool group of people, and you get to earn credits on top of all this. It's a really eye-opening experience, something that you'll never experience within the four walls of the classroom, or even in Minnesota at all. To be honest, there's just a different experience of being on the ground, meeting individuals, even outside of the scope of what this program has to offer, right? We get some free time here and there in the evenings, going to different cities, and, just be open to meeting local folks who have actually things to teach you that are outside of the curriculum that is being offered. So yeah, I can go on. There's just so much value in it, to be honest.
In law school in the US, law school everywhere, but for sure in the US, we demand our students take in a lot of information from a book. It is the nature of the education. And the challenge of the professor is to help students understand how this applies in real life. When you do a study abroad course, that lesson is built right in, right? So we assign readings, and there's a lot to be gained from that. We have writing assignments. But when you're in the country, you learn on a completely different level, right? Every day you wake up and everything is different from what you're used to, right? And so I think that is the true wonder and delight of a study abroad program. Obviously, the conditions need to be right? And that's where a program helps. I have been to Kosovo. I had already been to Kosovo 4 times before I brought students there. So I felt confident that I could curate an experience that was interesting and very safe. And that is the goal, and that is the highlight of organizing these kinds of trips. And I would say that the students engaged with it in a really positive way because of the program. Many of the students said that they would not have gone to Kosovo but for the program, and I'm pretty happy that the program made that difference to them.
Consider the Kosovo program if you want to walk a path few students ever take, learning firsthand how a nation rebuilds its legal system. You'll study transitional justice on the ground, meet practitioners shaping real change, and return with a global perspective that transforms how you practice law.